Yeah.
All right,
I just keep
hello
it steady on
everybody.
the
Welcome
magic.
back to
Do
the
my thing, I'm
Uprooted
healing, it's
podcast.
fantastic.
Yeah, we're gonna just have
If I
some
fall,
good
rise
conversation
automatic.
about some good
You ain't
topics
on
with some
that,
good
you
people.
know. I'm the one raise myself like a tree from the roots. West side girl, cause she lit in the coast. East side girl when she speaks to the roots. Stay 100 cause she on with the truth. Been there on struggle, know that it pass. Only going up, yeah, the pain don't last. Ooh, take off. Ooh, take off. Ooh, take off. This is take off. Shorty like Brandy, fight like Monica. What you know about her? Baby girl rising, way to the top. Shaking the world, don't expect her to stop. Purpose so great, she get what she got. Follow her step, cause she following God. What you need more, got a heart full of gold. Even at times when it's raining and cold. Ooh, she bout to take off.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Hannah, aka Ruta, and you are watching the Uprooted podcast. Today is none other than Black Women Wednesday, and I have one of my favorite people, Ribka, joining today. She's so dope. One of those unsung heroes, and I want to make sure y'all know who it is behind some of the dope stuff that we do as organizers. So I just, you know how I am. I gotta show love. I need to put my people on. I need y'all to know each other. So yes, today I'm really, really excited. Convinced Ribka to do this. So this is gonna be a fun one. What's up, y'all? I see y'all. Oh, y'all was ready, huh? Let me find out I was late and y'all was waiting for me. Okay, I think I see you in the chat, girl. Let me go ahead and bring you up. How's everybody's Wednesday? How y'all doing? And if you in here, do me a favor, go ahead and send this to 5 of your friends. Make sure they know what's going down. It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a good show. My girl Ribka, she's one of those people you want to know. Hello. Hi,
I'm so
Mare.
alive.
It's okay, girl. This is everybody's favorite thing.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Mare?
Good. This is weird. I'm gonna look at you. I'm like getting distracted by the
Oh,
bottom.
I know. Don't worry about the bottom. The bottom always does what it does. You
Yeah.
know, they gonna be in there. You know what? It's because you don't do lives, so everybody's like, "Oh my god, who is this?" They trying to be nosy. They trying to figure out who you are, which is good because they need to know. He said, "I don't know how you convinced
You right?
Ripka to go on live." Listen, okay, same way I convinced him. What you mean? Same way, because you guys
I'm
already know what kind
at
of
this point.
space this is.
What'd you say? It
I
cut out.
said, oh, I said they already know what kind of space this is, so that's why y'all come. You know, this is a warm,
You have
welcoming.
of how many people you got on live for the first time? Is that pretty?
I don't know, but I feel like it's kind of like my little badge of honor that I'm like, oh yes, like I be convincing everybody. Yes, okay. I don't know why, but is your phone leaning on something?
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's what it is because it's like I think you're catching me like at the tail end, and then I'm catching you like, like it's cutting you off. Okay, look at them. Hey, they in here talking about we love Ribka. We got hearts. We got Cece said Ribka Shakore. We look K. Okay, with the
Wait. Yeah.
fire emojis.
You see before, but I feel like I know her like 100%. Like I've already met her in life.
Yeah, I know. Every time
Oh,
I'll
I
be like,
love
okay.
her.
Hey, listen, y'all think, bro, if I ever got Cece to come on, then I'm done for life. I'm done for life.
Her out there. You know.
I know it's wild, but okay. Before we get too comfortable, because we already know each other.
Yeah.
So, for the rest of the people, hello. This is Black Women Wednesday. In case you didn't know, now you know. My girl Ribka is here. She runs Tagadu events, keeping everybody up to date. We're gonna get a little bit more into that. I'm mad. Binyam said Ribka got a perfect credit score. Y'all. I'm fed up. But for people who don't know you, can you just give them a little rundown of who you are, kind of just the basics, not too much information because people be nosy, but
Well, I'm Ribka. I'm from Seattle. Honestly, yeah, it's really like I started to go to events because I mean, like how a lot of these platforms were created, you know, out of frustration. I mean, if I'm being honest, the month of November, I mean, you were one of the first people that I saw online show the emotion that I was feeling. Like, how's she online? But it did motivate me to, like, if she can continue to go and all these other people are continuing to go, like, that's why by December, I think is when I started it. You know, and yeah, I mean, it really goes off your life, like the life that you did. Because, like, that's what a lot of people were feeling during that time, but, like, could not express it. And since I was never on social media prior to this, like, it was a lot. Like, November was, like, a lot. Trying to get all the information, trying to navigate through social media to get all this information. You, Danny, Peace and Tigray, she, like, I don't know her too, but the way she was, like, following all of us, keeping us in the loop, starting the, from at least from what I remember, you know, like, y'all really motivated me to want to do something. I think it helps me too, though. Like, it's giving me an outlet to do something. But yeah, that's, you know.
Okay, listen. You said a lot without saying a lot. So for those who don't, you know, who don't follow or who might not understand what Tagadu Events is and like what she's talking about, right? Because sometimes, you know, I do have audience who may not be hip, right? You know, he just may not be hip. That's okay, because we're here to put you on, right? So
yeah, let me, you know, I can explain, like, even like how, because for me, like, okay, the year before that, I was in Tigray for like about 8 months. So I was with a lot of people out here. I came back, it was COVID. It was the weirdest thing to come back to, because you were surrounded by so many people, like so much love, and then you come back to, like, especially Seattle. I came at the peak and it was dead. It was the weirdest thing ever, you know? And so I was in my own headspace because I was really mad the way I left Adi, because I didn't get to say bye to my family because of the COVID. I happened to be in Addis when they decided to shut down Tigray. I just literally went there to get my yellow card, but I couldn't even do that because everything was shutting down. And so I felt out of the loop with a lot of things, you know. I would hear about, like, certain things that were happening, but it would be like, okay, now I got to figure out how to get off work, or now I got to do this, you know, like, to figure it. We always find out too late, you know. And then I felt like there was a lot of people when I did go that weren't showing up to certain things, or I would hear the same thing of people just not knowing or finding out a little too late. So in the beginning, I was just like, okay, let me just do this. I think Rahel's the one, my sister convinced me. She's like, yeah, just do it, you know. It was really wild in the beginning because I didn't know nobody, especially like everyone from out of state. So I literally was going through like 600 people's stories to find these events. And
the dedication,
bro, because I was just like, okay, it wasn't enough to just do Seattle, you know. At the time, I didn't feel tapped into the Seattle, like the community. Like, we all were tapped, like, for the youth out here, like, we were really tapped in when we were kids, right? But then community turned into a place, at least for me, I associate it as a place to go for hazans and stuff like that, you know. I didn't really to be in community with people outside of the people that I already knew. So I didn't feel like, okay, let me do something for Seattle just because what am I really going to do? I wasn't even thinking about allies at that point. I was just like, we just need to be showing up at our own stuff. So that was the reason why I went through so many different accounts to see these different events. But then, you know, someone, you know, I realized at one point that, you know, let me start actually connecting with people so then I don't have to do so much work, where they could just let me know when they're having an event and I could post them. You know, and, you know, I just went from there.
Listen, okay, as somebody who has been behind the scenes with you and stressed out, I'm very thankful, because when people be like, what's going on? I'm like, listen, there's a whole page for this. Like, you do not gotta come to me, because I don't know.
Even the way, like, I view Tagadu events now is like, I don't think everyone got to follow Tagadu events. I think you could follow it to know where something's happening and see your city. Like, I try to tag the city local pages, right? The whole go back to them. They can give me more details, because there's no way that I'll know the details of everybody's events. Like, right? But like, I realized it motivated some people to create their local city pages. I even be like, okay, I see you on IG. Do you got a Twitter? You know, like, I just feel like all cities really need to. Each city really needs to have a social media platform. Like, it's not just about.
It would be nice. I said it would be nice.
Like, TPN, like, right now, the way they're coming through with all these different cities is dope, you know. But I know TPN focuses more for us, you know, for like the, like, you know, for the Tagadu community, and they are advocating for the war at the same time. But like, far as like dedicating and having a social media presence for Tigray, I think it's very necessary for each city to be on all social media platforms. You need a place for your allies that you connect with, a place to refer to, to get more happen locally. Because even though we're heading into better days, we're still in a bad situation. We're still surrounded by enemies. Even if the war ends tomorrow, Tigray will need help for a very long time. And not even that, we need to put Tigray on the map. So the way there are these other, because and that's one thing too, that was a reality check for me, was that I really was in my own world and I was not checking for other people's issues, because that was another thing I struggled with too, trying to advocate for Tigray, of but dang, I was not advocating for all these other places, all these other groups. How can
hold on, that part, we got to stop right there, because we're doing behind the scenes stuff. So before you go too far down that, I just want to take a moment right there. We're advocating for our own cause, right? And any other cause that I've seen or been a part of or helped build, has their own local presence everywhere. You know what I mean? You have a chapter, right? So BLM has a chapter in multiple cities, in all the different areas, because then you organize under one umbrella. You know what I mean? And it's for some reason, we are still over here doing this back and forth. And so we're okay, so when you think about an ally or you think about people in your local city, most of them want to do something tangible, they want to go support y'all too, because that's who they're connected to. And when you don't have anything for them to connect with, at a local level, it's really easy for them to move on to the next thing.
Yeah, because that's the thing, even in Seattle, you would think we would have a platform way early on, just for how big our community was, but there was people, because they were involved with the community, that decided they were doing it for another reason, but then realized, okay, this is a perfect platform for the allies. Because on a local level, we were giving them to God events, but we saw that it was messy. It's just too much for them. For that's not truly dedicated, that's a lot of information, or a lot of different cities to really be paying attention to one page. And so I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, in Seattle, we noticed that was a problem. And we're realizing now, it's really useful that they have a local action. That's where we realize all the different communities too, they all have a presence that we're just not aware of, connecting them in that way, where they're now reaching out to the Seattle page, trying to do more things. But it also brings this long-term relationship, because a lot of these groups in Seattle that represents different communities have existed for years. And we just didn't know about any of that. So it is really important for people to have a social media, to become a resource center for your city, have your idea, but amplify everyone's efforts. If someone wants to do something that's going to help Tigray, do so, So, I know it can struggle with dealing with different personalities, but we're beyond that point at this point. We're 9 months in it. I don't know. I stopped counting the days, to be honest, because it was.
Girl, listen, I can't do the whole day count either. It's a 8+, almost 9, type of situation.
Off when I see the number of days, so I'm just I don't even want to. Yeah, I just don't even want to associate with the days. So it's been months, right? Where you need to feel comfortable enough to be able to do something. It's bigger than us at this point. It's been bigger than us. And that's the reason. If anyone knows me, like Binyam or a few other people said, I wouldn't be on live. I wouldn't be on social media. I'm to myself or the people I know. I don't feel like it's it wasn't just necessary for me, But for me, it was so much bigger. I don't know if it's because I was in Tigray recently and I spent so much time there and I connected to all my family. I don't know what it is. I would think that prior to me going to Tigray that I would have thought just as hard. But for me, it was just so fresh. I was just there and I felt so stupid for not seeing a lot of the signs that were happening that that kind of explains why we're at this point, There was things I was out there too. I'm just wow, so that's why they did that. Okay, so that's what my grandma meant when they were talking about when they're blocking, I just.
Yeah, there's a lot. We talked about this too, because okay, so let's go backwards, because me and you be talking, so we be forgetting about everybody else. Okay, listen, y'all. So me and so Ribka was there prior to the war, right? So prior to COVID, it's very, very fresh for her. I had a couple year gap, since my grandma passed, because I used to go in the summers for my summer breaks in college, And then like, you know, my dad lives there, so we go back and forth sometimes. But literally, it's like you see kind of like we do, right? You kind of feel some type of tension. Like I used to skip going to Addis and going straight to Tigray because I always felt like some weird tension or animosity in the city. Yeah, in Addis. But like I just was like, bro, I don't got time for these the little dramas that people have. So I would just separate, right? And like there's like levels to it. There's lack of understanding. There's all these different things. And so it's all of us like having that need and that want and that drive to like be like, yo, like almost kind of like, not even almost, like we all also have that guilt of like, damn, where was I was not paying attention, like we were really really not paying attention. And then it makes you kind of think about like this has been happening not only to us but like across the globe to other people, and why we needed community in the first place, right? Like why are our parents so adamant that we stay together and do the work and whatever the case is. So like for those just joining and talking about or catching up to us, like there was a few lives that I did right at the beginning, but I had started the platform before the war. And so it shifted, you know what I mean? Like it shifted real quick. Like, hold on, we're going to address this.
Regarding the war, because that's when I saw you.
Yeah. And most people, that was most people's experience, is because everybody started looking for it. You know what I mean? So everybody started looking for information. Everybody's looking to get involved. And then you have people like you, you know, this brilliant person in the background who, you know, usually prefers to stay in the background. That is like, not only are you sourcing the information for yourself, but you're like, how do I make this accessible to everybody, right? Like, and what I kind of wanted to highlight with having you on, right, is like, you just saw that there was a need and that there was a gap, right, that you could fill. Like, it wasn't, yeah, it was dedication, okay? Like, I don't know that I would be looking through all of them things, but it was useful. It was useful for all of us to be able to put it together, because so many of us are disconnected. We've been disconnected from the community for a long time, right? Because there's not a transition. There hasn't been for a long time. It's like you're a kid, you're told what to do, you're forced to be everywhere, you got, you know, whatever the case is. And then there's this weird middle age thing, and then you like, or that age gap where we're in college and high school and we're like, yeah, we're not with that whack stuff, you're not telling me what to do no more.
In addition to that too, like at least for us that are born abroad, we have two different identities. Like it's like who we are at home and then who we're outside. So
oh yeah,
like we're an adult, do our own thing, but then when with our family, it's like somehow we turn into that kid that has to just say what they need to hear, because it's either it's because you don't want to piss them off or because it's just easier. Like I think as we get older, it's just because it's easier, you know. And that was too, like when I went to Tigray, just because I went as an adult, I didn't get that little kid behavior where I was treated differently, where I was able to like have true relationships with my family members, you know, where I did have a different outlook. I mean, COVID kind of mentally messed me up when I came back, because I just the way I came back, it really did bother me. That's why in November, like I was like low-key kind of paralyzed, because I'm just thinking like I was just reliving like the last time I said bye to my family members, because it wasn't an official bye. It was, you know, I'll be back. The way I drove through certain cities just to get to the airport, and I just called them like, oh, I'll see you when I come back. You know, so I was more focused on that. So like people like you, people like Danny, people like Sally, whoever was out in the beginning really advocating for us, really did give us, you know, the motivation to just do something. Because like, what else are we gonna do? Like it's you know,
you can only sit stuck for so long, right? Like as someone who has battled and beat depression multiple times, it is one of those things like you can only sit stuck for so long, because that shit will take you under, you know what I mean? And then it's like, all right, I gotta find something that I can do. And you just were like, all right, this is something I can do, and you just started. And it wasn't like, you know, it was a process in the beginning, but like you said, you were able to build relationships, like, and actually like, okay, I'm communicating with these people quite regularly at this point, because they're constantly throwing events. So there's people like constantly, you know, in your DMs. So at first you were outsourcing the stuff, like you were bringing the stuff to you and you were like organizing it.
You just get it out. I even in the beginning, I wasn't even thinking about like confirming that this is like it's not gonna, because that's the thing I ran into real quickly in the beginning. someone would post something, then they would cancel it, then I wouldn't know, then someone would send me a message, you know? So then I need to, not only that it was also stressful reading, like seeing everyone's stories just to find that one event, you know? So it was a combination of things of just like, I need to work a little smarter on this and like be logical and detach. Like I don't need to be seeing everyone's story because it's the same thing that we're seeing all the time. Especially when we were December or January, I don't know when it was, when we started getting the video footage, like those were very triggering. I don't even know how people can continue to like rewatch those things. I was off of Twitter for a minute because of that. Because the way they were just surprising us with videos and no censor, no nothing, like people were, I see the purpose, but like it was not cool, you know?
Yeah. It's too hard. It's like, I mean, more like I said to Danny the other day, more power to y'all because somebody has to do it, you know, and I appreciate and I take my hat off to you. All of those things is not for me. And so I can't imagine because like I was like, you know, trying to help create the content for other people to repost, right? So like I was even just like, okay, I'm not gonna do this one. I could do the infographics, I could do, you know what I mean? I could do all the other stuff, not the videos. But it was the same thing where it was like, you know, I was trying to help multiple cities. So the flyers that the ABT were coming up with, I was like, bro, who's reading these? Like, why are y'all listen, this is PSA to everybody. Stop like, letting your ABT make flyers, please.
That's, like the way, that's like, okay, this is how, I don't know if I'm going to go off topic, but going back to like what you could do locally is like, for example, I know there's a lot of youth that complain about these protests that are thrown by the older community because one, you got to be grateful that we had a community that they were able to initiate something, right? So be mindful how you approach them. But I understand it can be difficult in the sense that sometimes they're not open to feedback, right? But there's simple ways that you can tap in where like creating the flyer, taking initiative, saying like, okay, if we're in our own echo chamber, okay, let me pass out flyers. Let me create the flyer. Let me put a QR code on it. Let me do something that's going to be more modern, connect it back to your page. You know, like there's certain ways that you can help where like they will they will be standoffish in the beginning, but eventually they will see like, okay, that was productive. You know what I mean? Like you do have to be the bigger person sometimes in certain situations, and then they eventually will be. And it doesn't apply to all the communities. Like, but I mean, if we're being real, we know there's a gap between the youth and the.
I told you there's no transition. It's like we go from y'all telling us what to do.
We're with each other now.
Yeah. That was it's just like, okay, like it's I have to remind myself when I'm like re-entering the community, I'm like, we're to have patience. I like every time I have to talk to myself, we're to have patience. They've been doing this for a long time. Their PTSD is re-triggered. Like I am like trying to walk in with so much grace, but like I'm not gonna lie to y'all. We had nine months. That grace is almost gone. That's why this next month I'm focusing on the whole softness and vulnerability because I was like, y'all making me crazy. So we gotta do that though. I like that point that you made.
And like, I mean, but I know it's not for everyone. Like it does take a certain level of patience where like, if you don't have an outlet to vent, you know, like you do, it's a lot.
Yeah.
But you just have to get creative. You don't need permission to create a social media page.
Amen.
Don't like.
Ooh. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I texted that to an ABT one time.
No, because some of them will put that in your mind, like, okay, hold on, wait, no, not like, because they have their own vision or they're not seeing the importance of it, right? But like, you don't need permission to do that. Like, you don't need permission to connect with allies. You don't like. You can even use your own personal one if you wanted to wait for whatever reason, because like every city is a little different. But like, you don't need permission to advocate for Tigray. Like,
amen.
Like, yeah. But I'm only saying that because I was in that position where like when it came to even helping things with locally, you know, there was people that were hesitant because, you know, you just didn't want to go against anybody else, you know, but like it gets, and learn how to be a team player too, you know, like you don't try to own something completely yourself. Like we're all like a community at the end of the day. Like if it doesn't work with your platform, that's fine, but have an actual legit reason, you know, not because someone at this point we have to learn how to work with one another because at the end of the day, that person could be acting a little off because they're emotionally going through something, you know, like that's one thing I learned too.
Ooh.
I was very judgmental.
Girl, I'm still working through it. I told you I have like this much grace left and I'm trying really hard.
The way
really hard.
A couple of times because the way I'd be like, okay, so y'all at a protest and then you're gonna like put this on social media that you're part. Like I used to be so. I have a different perspective now. I give grace to it, but I'm just like, yo, like you got to be mindful of your like our social media is our outlet for our allies, right? So like I was very judgmental in certain ways but I realized, through a couple conversations with other people at least of just like, yo, people like go through trauma in different ways. Sometimes they need to detach, sometimes this is, all the different reasons, right? So I'm learning to give grace. I'm not the best at it, like you said, like I'm still working on it, but
Listen, Ribka, I'm trying to tell you, like, I'm trying not to laugh because I said the exact same line, and Cece like put it in here again. I literally, like, this one abeti came at me so sideways, I'm not gonna even put it on blast, right? In the most respectful email version of like politeness, you know what I'm saying? I was just like, okay, da 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 da, and I said, but also, I said, nobody needs permission to advocate. I don't think I said advocate, but I said nobody needs permission to help Tigray. Like, and everybody was just in the like, yeah, you right. I was like, you think I'm waiting on Deborah Sayon to come knock on my door and tell me what to do? He busy in the battlefield. You know what I'm saying? They got things to do. They want you to use your brain, you know what I mean? And like the network and connections you have. We grew up in this, like, I don't know about y'all, but I've signed a bunch of petitions, right? Like I've signed a bunch of petitions. I have been to protests. I have like been as informed as I can about certain things, and I will like go hard as like an ally, like for other issues, you know what I mean? Like I will call out other things. So like for me, I'm not waiting for y'all to tell me what to do. I'm going to use the skill set I have, and thankfully I already have my own platform, right? But it's the same thing that you were saying about being a team player. I had a whole season, Ribka, I had a whole season too for this show. But when other people had things to do, I'm like, okay, cool, you got a thing and we need to promote that, whatever. You guys need to come on the show, cool, right? So it's just everyone playing their position. Those are not things that I plan to do, right?
You shifted
but
because
yeah, I could have kept the platform for myself. You know what I mean? I could have kept doing what I had planned to do, and then put everything else to the back burner. But it really does mean at the end of the day, if it's going to be for the betterment of Tigray and the people out there that are suffering, I can put my pride to the side. You know what I mean? I can put my ego to the side and be like, what do we need to do? Like, and you'll never know, because I'll never like let you guys know that I don't mess with this person, right? But I will have them on if it's like for the purpose of something initiative or whatever that we're doing for Tigray.
Skillful. If you make sense to do that position, why wouldn't I want to use you? Like, it's not about me at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But like, even going back to that, you don't need permission to advocate. And with the older community sometimes lack what they don't realize, and I think that the youth need to see it for themselves. Because we do have this identity issue of just like, okay, because we're American or we're wherever we're from, addition to, right? Like sometimes you don't feel like, I don't know, like you're not Tigrayan or you're not,
enough. Because there's never enough of you.
Never enough. Like they'd be calling us Faranji when we grew up, as a joke, it's part of that too. Being in Tigray, you understand the humor a lot differently.
Oh yeah.
You don't get
these guys. It's top tier. It's top tier
out there. Like you think it's different. And like in the beginning, you're like, okay, what? Excuse you? Like what? You butthurt a little bit, but then you just learn to joke back with them, and it makes sense in how they joke. Like them calling us Faranji is just probably another accounting way to be like, girl, you disconnected, whatever, however it is. But like you are Tigrayan, your bloodline comes from there. You should feel comfortable enough to be able to advocate for it. It's something that you need to just feel for yourself. And I think that's why I said prior to me Tigray, I would hope that I would have advocated. I was always like proud to be from Tigray, but like you can't tell me nothing. Like when you say, I don't know if it was you or someone else about like knowing your why, like that is real. Like the way I remember in the beginning when I was trying to help with it was with dealing with an older person and.
Oh, you talking about when you taught them how to use Clubhouse? Hold on. Y'all, I was about to say, because listen, let me go ahead and plug you one time. when I tell you Ribka has the patience of a saint, I don't know, because the way she be teaching these advocacy how to use social media, I'm like, what? I was like, you got who on where? Oh,
You got him on Instagram.
listen. She will literally take the time out to be like, okay, this is how you set up your account. Okay, this is how you get on. Here's some of the she will do a whole, she'll screen record. She's done it for me. She will screen record how to do it and then send it to me. I don't even know what I asked you for, but you'll do that though.
I mean, like, cause I'm a visual learner, so like, let me just send you the screen recording. But I remember with, you know, they needed help with something. It was with regarding the advocacy work, and I gave them an outline. I put a lot of work into it to structure the meeting, because I know we're dealing with refugees. And the way this one guy completely dismantled everything I did and went with the direction, because the majority of them were of a different generation. And there was someone there that's in between who understood. And he was like, you know, don't feel discouraged. Don't do nothing. I didn't even realize at the point that I already knew. I was like, oh, I'm not. I mean, I am. I'm pissed. I'm being really upset right now. But like, they're not going to stop me from wanting to do something for Tigray. You know what I mean? So like, you do have to find your why. But before that, you do have to feel that you identify with it, you know, like ignoring the things that they did put on us unintentionally or intentionally, you know. That plays a lot of it too, where you just don't feel like you're part of the community in that way, where you can be entitled, because they always tell us like, oh, you don't know. Like, okay, I might not know all the political stuff, but I know that I care for the people, you know. I learn.
You want to know my petty response, Ribka?
Huh?
I said, do you want to know my petty response?
But
I'll be like, well, that's because you didn't teach me. Well, now I'm going to teach myself.
Bro, the way I went from like, what's it called, to like, how did I miss all the signs? Like, what is wrong with me? Like, oh, that makes sense. To like, what? Y'all are trash. How did that tell me any stuff? Like, what do you mean? What? Like, this stuff, I mean, I was real Asha. Like, I was.
Happily. I'm not even taking credit for that. Like, no, I'm not taking, I'm like, you guys didn't teach us. You kept us away from information on purpose. Like a lot of it was intentional, because they didn't want to and I get it, right? They didn't want to bring up their old pain, their personal pain. Okay, but you could have still gave us history. But that's, you know, that's neither here nor there, because it's the time has passed. But I will no longer let that be an excuse for why like we get pushed out. I'm like, that's cute. Try again.
Yeah.
That's it.
On them now, it's on us too. Like, we don't have the space to really be like, okay, we'll see. Like, no, you got to be a part of the change. Like, there was just, I'm not even going to bring up what it was about, but like, there was things that like a lot of people, there was a certain thing that people would complain about a lot. And I'm like, well, you're not going to be a part of the process to try to change it. How do you expect change? Like, the only thing that's different now from now in the past is like, you have a whole new generation that were born abroad that are tapped in, and it has to do with us being able to communicate with each other because of the internet, you know, like back just them. So it makes sense. Like, they did amazing for what it was, you know, to see like all the things that they went through in present day, and they didn't even have half the resources that they have now is wild. But like, the only way things are going to be different if you actually believe you're going to be a part of the process. Like, that's, I'm really not, like, we can vent, we can joke like for a certain extent, but like when it comes to actually being serious, like, no, like you gotta be a part of the process. You gotta figure out how you're gonna get in there to make it different. Like, we can't no longer just complain anymore unless you're trying to be in the same position. Like, the way I want to shake people's heads sometimes. It's just like, what do you mean? Like, do you not know how many people have died? Like, do you not, like, there's so many triggering things that has happened that is just not, you know. But like, you have to do your part as a human. It even goes back to like checking yourself and being realistic of like, you're asking people to advocate for you. Are you advocating for other people? You know what I mean? Like, you need to see the equalness in that. Like, you should have, like, don't try to build these allyships on a fake level. Be genuine, because you're not going to receive that genuine love back, because it's going to show through eventually.
Oh yeah, it's so easy to tell. It's like, here's the thing, it's like cold calling, right? And before you do that, I have the quote on my wall: be the change you wish to see. Like, I've lived by that quote for a long time now, and so that's why when I see other people get up and like do the work, I'm like, yes. Like, that is a change maker, not a complainer, right? But to your point, it's so easy to tell. Like, when you cold call someone, right? Like, I don't know you from nowhere. I've never done any work with you. Like, there is no connection between you and I. We want to believe that everybody, like, is a human being and you should care because it's a humanitarian issue, whatever, right? That's cute. But when you realize how ugly the world really is and how many people are suffering, it's so hard for us to wrap our brains around it. You know what I mean? Like, it's so hard. It is so, there's so many things we are not aware of, that we don't support, and I'm sure those people felt just like we felt 9 months ago. You know what I mean? So we got to have that same mentality when we're walking up to somebody else, because we don't know what they're walking in this world with. We don't know what they've been through. Like, I felt bad the other day when the lady, gosh, I forget her name, but HPN did, their mom's healing circle, I think, or something like that. And it was like, the woman who came to facilitate that was a survivor of the Rwandan genocide, right? And we refer to it all the time, but how many of us have ever talked to anybody from Rwanda? Like, personally, I have not. And I was like, and so every day I'm humbled and reminded that here these people are coming to help us and aid us because they know what they felt, but we didn't show up for them.
Yeah.
And we still haven't. We're still not. You know what I mean? Because we're so focused on ourselves right now, which we have to be. But I'm hoping that when we all, or those of us who start to have more capacity, like, do actually do that work, because in the long term, we need more allies, because we cannot be back in the situation where everybody is trying to attack us and we have no allies.
Yeah, like, to that point, like, I get it. Like, all we do is have ourselves at the end of the day, but we can't just stop there. We got to question, why do we? Because there's people out here that actually care, but like, if we just choose to accept our own, like, even with the fundraiser right now with TDA, all of that is us.
Mm-hmm.
Allies sprinkled in there barely, like, but it's all us. When are we ever going to be like, yo, we need to get the money from other people? Because there's people that are willing to give it to us,
Mm-hmm.
So, but like, you do have to put in that work to really build allyship on a genuine level, because it's not going to work. It might work. They might repost something, they might do a tweet, but if you don't connect with somebody, like, even the way anyone that's like coming out to Seattle in August, if you like, even at least for the locals, like, if you build one new person, like a new relationship with one ally, our approach would be completely different. If every Tigrayan in Seattle brought one ally, it would be wild on how we wouldn't even look like our echo chamber, because half of it would be the allies, right?
Yeah.
Thing is, like, I think people are thinking like, oh, that's just too much work to bring allies, but you just bring in one person, you connect with one person right now, you can. Even we had a protest recently last 2 weeks ago. There was one guy in particular that I approached with the flyer. He was already crying, and the reason he was crying is because he's like, I can't believe you guys are still protesting. That day in particular, we had like about 4 people that was crying, like, whether it was like they realized that, y'all are still protesting, or was like, this is just ridiculous that this is happening, right? So there's people in every city that do care, but if you don't make the effort to, like, for me, I feel happy if I got one person to even want to care, like, look up Tigray or care about Tigray, or the guy that got emotional, he couldn't even take the flyer. The fact that he had, like, tells me, like, okay, it's a reminder that people do actually care, So you do have to put an effort to really connect with people, whether it's just one person, like, I'm guilty of it too. When I was, I would have worked with my coworkers in the beginning, like, I wasn't telling them, because I separated my like work life with like my personal life, right? But now I'm like, they know at this point to ask me.
Oh, I told my team right away, sis, because I was gonna let them know the work is not gonna happen the way it's gonna happen, and I needed my boss to, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, listen, there's a war happening, like, like, I was just, it wasn't the whole office, it was just my department, because I like specifically needed the people that I work with to know that I was not gonna be available. You know what I mean? For certain things. But that was like more of a boundary thing. But like, as far as talking to the whole office, I feel you. I was looking at people like, don't talk to me today. Like, I couldn't get my head around it, because I was like, I'm trying to not break down so that I can do work. And then I just straight up told my boss, I can't be in the office. Yeah. Like, I just can't be in the office. And thankfully it was a temp situation, so I could leave. But for those of you who are like day in and day out with these niggas, I'm just saying, like, I could understand you not trying to be the one token Black person, and they're always looking at you like, oh, her home country. Like, You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it.
You're already the Black person, and then now you're trying to explain something like with your family in Africa. Like, they're just like, huh? You know? So, but like it goes, I think Kasai said something about it's overwhelming with a lot of info. Like but like if you make it personal, like if you say like I haven't spoke to my grandma in this many months, if I there's no, like, you make it personal and then people can relate to that, you know? But if you're just trying to give them the X amount of people died, refugees, like that goes
I don't even go into numbers because the numbers don't matter. Like they matter to us, but I mean like to an ally. Let me clarify that. One person is too much. Like numbers,
I said in that perspective. I was like, one person is too much. 10 people is way too. 150,000 that we can account for. That's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like that's the only way I would bring up numbers, but that's if they wanted more information. You got to make it more personal and connect them to like how this, remind them that you're first generation. So that means your whole entire family is there. You know, like you got to make it personal, or like because we do live in a world where people are just like go, worried about their work, worried about their own personal life, worried about their own, just that whatever is happening in their own life. So you do have to give them a reason to really want to understand, because half those people too are not advocating, but there are people who advocate for everyone, you know, and you have to find those people within your city.
Oh yeah, there's some interesting people I meet from time to time, and I'm just like, oh, okay. Sometimes they be trying to go harder than me, and I'm like, good, actually, because I'm tired. So it would be nice so that I can actually just be a victim and like be able to heal and worry about myself. But you got to open your mouth, right? Like I say it all the time, closed mouths don't get fed, right? So it really is about you putting in that effort. It's not comfortable all the time. Honestly, sometimes I don't want to talk about it because I want to like not think about it for a couple minutes, you know what I mean? But it is one of those things that if you can even just shorten it how you said it, like my grandma's there. Like I had someone text me the other day, didn't realize they knew what was going on, but they didn't realize like to the extent of how much family I have there. And I was like, all right, let me just break this down to you. When I immigrated to this country, it was me, my mom, my dad's two sisters, and my mom's one sister. Okay, that was the extent of my immediate family that came. Since then, there have been cousins, like few and far between. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe a second cousin, a third, or whatever. But that leaves 90% of my family still there.
Yeah.
And they're just like,
and okay. How big our family's out there.
Yeah, because they think our family's big out here because we be calling everybody our cousin. And I'm like, they're not actually. I'm like, they're not actually. But because we miss them, so we make everybody our family. I'm crying. What? Yeah, you cut out for a second. Ribka, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. My bad.
Okay. You're good. You're good.
The way you are skilled, the way you can keep a conversation and read these comments, like I don't know how you do it.
You know, it's just practice. That's all. I don't read all of them. I read the ones that like look like they might be a question. You know what I mean? I know it takes practice to not look at them, but oh, I love it. Okay, Amari said hi. Hey, Amari. Okay, listen, that's my little homie. What I did want to kind of highlight though is there's a Tagato event side, which you're doing amazing with, and then you're active in the Seattle side of things as well, like on the local level. But you mentioned the upcoming fundraiser, which I wanted us to highlight again, because y'all are really doing phenomenal. And I just won my prize. Woo woo. Okay, listen, I didn't even realize because I have hella gasha for the festival right now. So
you said in one of the lives before, so like I'm not surprised. When I saw your name, I was just like, okay.
I called it like yesterday. Benion's in here on his live yesterday. I was like, "Oh, I'm feeling lucky, y'all." And I was like, "Let me just buy 2 more tickets." Like it was a lotto ticket. Let me just buy 2 more just in case. Yeah. And then I checked my phone at night because I was busy. And the homies sent it to me. They were like, "Congrats!" I was like, "Huh?" I said, "Oh shit, I won!" Like I was excited.
Yeah. No, it's good. So so that was the raffle you were referring to, which we did help. We met our goals thanks to everyone that, you know, started really donating the last couple of days, because they really came through the last couple of days. Mm-hmm. And shout out for Binyam and Betel and Rahel that did a live the other day, and Danny that boosted up the sales a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we did meet our goal of 10,000, so that's cool. Yeah, so that
y'all had some good prizes.
Yeah, you know, we had some people in our community that had like, you know, one to all the Tagadu merchants that donated it, so we didn't come out of pocket for that. That's them doing it on their own.
Mm-hmm.
And, we did have someone in our community that was able to work that out with the hotel state. But yeah, so as far as the weekend, national protest, national fundraiser, it's just a little different because we're just making sure we can make as much money as possible during that weekend, especially with the ask to donate to everything to TD at this point. So Friday will be the August 20th. Friday is the rally. Please, folks, try to fly in on Thursday. Y'all need to show up at the protest. We don't need being delayed and showing up late. We are going to do an afternoon protest, like around noon, you know. But we know our people start late, so it's best if you Seattle too. Like, you don't want to deal with the traffic. Like, if I'm being, you come in from down like the airport, then coming to like downtown Westlake where the protest is going to happen, it's just not worth it. So I recommend you flying really late on Thursday night, or Thursday, enjoy, relax, and then wake up, you know, fresh for the protest. We need everyone to show up at the protest. Like, there is other things going to be happening, but we need a reality check. So that's one thing that I'm happy with the Tigray festival that's happening. I really hope people have a good time, they relax, but like take it as a moment to reset. You know, like we are liberating a few of the cities, but we're still in this.
We're not done. Yeah, we're definitely not done.
Like,
I be trying to tell people like, yo, don't celebrate too early, okay?
Yeah. Well, that's me giving grace, you know, realizing we should be able to like celebrate our victories, you know, we should be able to like dance and have a good time, you know, especially with the Tigray festival. I mean, people know I was really against that. I was like, girl, we can't cancel 1 year, we can't name it something else, like it got to be a festival. I was real judgmental on that. But after June 28th, you know, I started realizing the money is going. At the end of the day, that's how we know how to raise money. Like, that's how what our people, like our parents were doing for years, is like throwing these little parties, not little parties, these big parties. Big parties. Yeah. Like that. These big parties. And they raised like thousands of dollars, you know? So something like Tigray Festival, where we nationwide are coming out, it makes sense. But I advise everyone, take that as a reset, you know, enjoy your weekend, have a good time with everybody, do what you got to do. But just know, like, we got to pick it up again, whether that's on social media, whether that if you're able, because I understand not everyone's able to fly out to the national protest, come through. No excuses for like Seattle folks. Like, come on, y'all, call off what you got to do. Like, everyone got to be there, you know? So yeah, so the rally is the most important thing. Like, I'm going to highlight that as the most important thing, because that's our call to action. That's where we're trying to get a lot of, you know, we want a lot of allies to show up to that. We're trying to do things a little differently of setting up as a rally instead of a protest. So that's really important for people to show up on time. Because that's one advice we got with some people that we're connecting with, like allies here in Seattle, of just like, y'all really just need to teach us, you know? So a rally is a great way to teach the community. So for us, it might be, you know, obviously it's going to be repeated information. Well, that's why it's so important for you to bring allies, so your ally can learn more information on what's happening to Tigray, you know? So, but
I'll be there early.
No excuses. But yeah, I mean, yeah, y'all should be early. Y'all should all want to come and help and set up, you know, like this, even if Seattle's thrown on, everyone should want to be a part of it and volunteer. You always can be a part of the flyer team. Like, I think there's certain things that are undermined. Like, passing out flyers is a great way to connect to people, like especially if you got a QR code that links you back to the local page. Like, I think that it goes back to like even creating like your local pages, like giving them OMNA, giving them Tigray Act, HPN, all these wonderful things. Sorry if I did not, there's so many of y'all.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Sorry,
I'm trying to make my rounds too. I'm over here trying to get everybody. Like, it takes a while.
Sandwich Tigray, like there's all of you guys, right? That's cool to give them that, but you can't see the track record of that. You don't know if it affected them. You don't know if they're about to make because you don't know their Twitter. But if you connect it to like a link tree that links to, that is like a part of your social media page, where they can find your social media page, they can find the resources like Making Jeddah, just like, you know, Making Jeddah way, UMNA or something, like, you know, but they also have the opportunity to tap in locally. You can actually see the change. You're like, oh, they're following us, oh, they're liking us, oh, they're viewing our story. That's the only way you really can see if you're making a difference, you know, or they're tagging us. Like a cafe, you know, that was one thing that was really dope that was cool last protest, is we end up going through Broadway, and one of the cafes, we were talking to just people outside, but someone came out and started recording us. I guess it was the owner to the cafe or someone that manages. They posted us, but they were able to tag us because they had our flyer that had the link tree that linked us back to our social media page. So we were able to see, yo, like that actually made a difference. Like we wouldn't have known. And then we got access to their followers as well, where they end up following, you know? And then we're like, yo, we're about to give you business. Like,
this is what we talking about.
They didn't know us. They just went off when Fidila was speaking, saw that, they felt impacted by it, and then I don't know if they did their research, but they just went with it, you know? So I think it always go back to make sure you give them these bigger platforms that are very useful and that create all these petitions, but you do need to get them tapped in back locally.
Well, wait, pause right there, because you're saying some smart stuff, and I want to make sure that everyone like catches it, right? So like why we're emphasizing and what Ribka is telling you is really smart marketing, one, but this is also just like, for those of you who are business people, this is a business conversion, right? Like this is something.
This whole advocating is marketing. Like,
yeah.
Got that already? Like advocating, doing all this, it's all marketing. How can
it is.
Like that's all it is at the end of the day.
But Ribka, sometimes because they're like, people separate the two, they don't understand it's the same skill set. You know what I mean? So I'm like, no, this is the same skill set of you converting someone to following your brand to following the movement. It's the same skill set, literally the same skill set. You're doing the same thing. And why it's better to do it locally is because there will be more local events for them to continue to participate in and to continue to amplify for you, even if they can't make it. You know what I mean? Like those are easier conversions, and it's much easier for you guys to manage that load than it is for like one organization to manage everything. Like they're organized and they're doing a lot and they're putting out a lot of information and putting these events together, but they cannot at that capacity engage with people, right? They cannot engage with each individual. It's just not like, it's just not feasible right now. Like it's just not.
Think about Peace Guy, like she's amazing with her platform, how big it gotten, right? There's no can tap into all those people. You know, she's more of a point of contact. She's more to provide more resources for us. Same thing with Omna. They're providing great information. Same thing with Tigray Act, like what they're doing with the reels and putting information out there. But there's no way they can tap into every single person. So it is really important for everyone on a local level, like create it. And when you create it, try to create all social media platforms. Like I know we're not really a fan of Facebook, but there's a purpose to that too. Like get your parents to be involved. Like they could share it with their coworkers, because like some of our parents be adding everybody, you know. So like you should try to get on all social media platforms, even on Twitter too. Like put your events on Twitter. Like get people to.
Why not? That's like, just another place.
You should just, Reddit is the one thing that I still can't figure out yet, and I haven't put enough time to try to figure. Like I see there's a useful, it's useful, but like if you can get on Reddit too, like try to be consistent. Try to be consistent with your naming too. So like if they got you on, like if they know your at, they can look up your at through all your social media platforms, you know, or at least have a link tree that refers them back to all your social media platforms, you know.
Yeah.
Making it
just makes life easier.
Yeah.
That's all the way easier. You know what I mean? Like I think about that too. I'm like, y'all, this is just, and I think I said it on one of the Manifest Mondays. I don't know. I'd say a lot of different stuff, but it's like, you think about the companies, the brands, the people you follow, and how the things that you love about those people, replicate that for yourself. You know what I mean? Like replicate it so that you already understand, because you know what you like as a consumer. You know what I mean? Of these things. So like when you put your brain on that way, it's much easier to advocate. Because think about it. We all do this. We all just swipe through hella shit. We're taking in an insane amount of information daily, right? So you got to think about what are the things that you stop and pause to look at.
Yeah.
And then do that and just stay in that lane, because that's an audience that you know how to reach, because you can only, like, you're going to attract who you are, right? And we're the generation of social media. So we know how to attract people who are on social media. We just need to like change our mindset and like think about, okay, like this is still advocacy. Advocacy doesn't look the same anymore.
Yeah.
Like it been changed, y'all. Like it changed a long time ago, and we're doing amazing. I just want to empower people to like, you can do this on your own.
Yeah.
Like literally Ribka started this on her own. She didn't ask not one of us to help her. Even though we were all like in
Better
these groups,
make
she
it.
did it. What did she say? Oh, look at them in the comments. Your Slack groups for work, inundate them with info about TikTok. Oh, we know we love them. Clubhouse. What else did they say?
Oh, Clubhouse, it's some like at the beginning of Clubhouse, like bro, the way we were just attacking these rooms, like going to random rooms and spreading. We need to be back on that tip because people need to know that this is still happening. And there are people.
Yeah.
I personally it's not. I took a break of Clubhouse in that way, but not to dismiss anyone that's still doing that, you know. But yeah, you got to get on all social media platforms. You got to, you know, one thing that I thought of when you were talking, when you are trying to create these things too, if you don't know how to do it, we got someone in our community that knows how to do it. That's the wild thing. Like there's so many people that I not even like. Dowie is one person I barely talk to, but so helpful.
Always. I love Dowie.
The way he's just so simple. The way like we got Tagaru Link Up, who literally has resources to everything, like within our community. You know, like you got people like Binyam who takes photos. Nahum, like I can just speak to people locally. You know, like you have an idea, you probably can find someone in the community that can help you do it. You know, it just goes back to going back to being a team player,
girl,
working with purpose. You know, and not taking things too personal. You know, but
yeah. Ribka, you already know that's like my motto for life at this point. I'm like, look, it's just gonna get done. It's gonna work itself out. Cause like the way like I have crazy ideas all the time. And I'm like, it's gonna work itself out. And then people messaging me and I'm like, oh, actually you need some work to do because I need some help. And then it'll work itself out. Like you just have to have the initiative and the idea.
The way your brain works, I'm just like, oh, you taking it there. I was not even, my mind was not nowhere near that. But like, it's a good thing. We do need to like dream big for Tigray though. Like not even just for yourself, but like when it comes, obviously for yourself first. But when it comes to Tigray, like we got to look at like, it's a blank canvas at this point. Like we can start fresh. Like I mean, we're forced to at this point, you know, like there's things we can go off on what our parents did, but like it's endless of like how we can really help, you know. But you do have to be willing to work with other people. That's why, I mean, the way I look at it is like, I do need to work with the older community. I need to figure it out because I need to learn some things from them.
Girl, who don't you work with? First of all, okay, listen, we didn't even really touch on all the behind the scenes. You have helped plan how many events?
Not that many.
Girl, bye.
I
feel like I feel like every time somebody approaches me with an event that they need help with, you're somehow already a part of it.
I assist. It's a team effort. You know?
Okay, but you're still part of it behind the scenes. That's not even Tagadu events. That's just you constantly like, oh, you guys need help? Cool. Like almost all the Clubhouse events you've like participated in for sure.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and they backing me up in the comments. That's what I'm talking about. Cece said Ribka's the plug. Adi said stop Ribka. Okay, lies Ribka. You have helped in so many people's events. Whether they're on Clubhouse, helping them do the marketing, creating the outlines for them, the link tree, sending them blurbs, resets for rooms, whatever the case is, you have done it and have it organized somewhere.
Events too. Like they actually, I swear, like even with Clubhouse, like it's because of Adis and Terhas and CC. I hate naming names because in case I forget somebody, but like, you know, like it's because of the community. It's because like, you just got to put yourself out there and there's people that are willing to like, help you with the process and teach you what it is, you know. So
I'm crying. Benyam said Ribka has a twin. That's the only explanation. I'm fed up. Listen, we trying to tell you that you do a lot.
Sorry.
I'm crying. Cece said she's the accountant, graphic designer, PR. Okay.
We really did have a block list.
Listen, you gotta take your flowers. Okay, you gotta take your flowers. Yes, like it's. I'm crying. Adi said, yeah, her twin. She said, oh yeah, Binyam is Rahel. Rahel's your twin. It's so funny. No, the whole sister duo act is great. Like we love it. They're both always helping. But it's literally like, this is why I brought you on, because I need people to see like over and over again, this has nothing to do with you wanting to put your face out there, right? Like I had to really talk you into this one. Like really talk you into this. And guess what? Did you notice the whole hour went by?
No, But yeah.
I told you.
All day I'm like, okay, I'm gonna treat it like it's a FaceTime call. I'm just talking to Hannah like we're on the phone, you know?
Yes, this is what I be trying to tell people. Y'all be like, so I'm like, I promise you, it's like, it's just how you talk to me normally. It's the same thing. We just probably cuss less, if anything. Okay, you get more love. Says Ribka's amazing everywhere. Thank you for helping us with Tagadu support. Okay, my girl Delina's in here. I remember you was Old Faithful. Okay, you was Old Faithful in there. I just okay. Whoa! There's a lot of flowers happening. We haven't even got to the flower section yet. Okay, listen, because I just want to reiterate for the people, and I'm giving you a couple seconds because you know the last question that I asked. So if people who are not paying attention, if you in the back and you wasn't paying attention, Ribka's from Seattle. She helps with the Seattle local community, right? They have a big event coming on the end of August, 20th through the 22nd. Don't be late, y'all. Like,
don't be late to the most.
Yes.
The rally, like we got to get back to work. That's an action item, you know? So everything else is going to be fun and we're going to have a good time. We're going to be able to connect with anyone. That's like, I'm really excited for that because I think, Hannah, to be honest, you're the only person I met like through this.
Through this time, probably.
Person. Everyone else, either I knew them or I haven't met them yet. So like, I am excited for that, but don't be late. Try to find, you know.
See, I'm coming in Wednesday. So I'm gonna be ready. What you need? I'm about to be there Wednesday night. So Thursday, you feel me? I'm gonna be there. We gonna do whatever shenanigans, setups, whatever stuff. You know, yeah. I'm there to work. I don't know when people, because sometimes people see me at these events and they be confused because they be looking for me thinking I'm about to. I'm like, no. I be coming to these events to do the job.
Yeah.
Okay. I do the job in and out. I'm like in and out. I'm not trying to do all that other stuff. Like the Bay Area protest. I'm telling you, it's the same thing, Ribka. Like, I go, put my hat on, pass some flyers out, talk to the people, hit my little chant on the mic one time, keep walking, keep passing out flowers. Like, I'm telling you, it's like, I'm always that type of person. Like, let's make the most of this event in this moment because we can socialize, you know, after. Not Benjamin talking about Hannah Good with the locals. Hey, I'm trying to tell you, I'd be like, hey, yo, bro, can I pass you this flyer one time?
I don't like this the way you be coming out here. Like,
oh, I know. I swear, it's like God is trying to like tell me something about Seattle. I don't know, but we gonna see what happens. But you know, the point is though, there is Friday, like you said, there's the rally, but it's a community like.
Yeah.
What I will say though is like, you gonna feel it. Like there's a certain energy with the Seattle community. Like, you know what I mean? Like I've always just enjoyed. I mean, maybe because I have hella family and friends there. You know what I mean? But it's just there's a beauty in that. Because I will say this, like, you know who a Tagadu is when you are in Seattle. Like they're not shy about it. Like, you know what I mean? Like it is very much like a what's up? Like, you know, like they know who they are. They stand in it with pride, even prior to the war. You know what I mean? So it's always like that energy. And you know, like I just love it. Like I love that. Seattle's a beautiful place. I be vibing. I be just going around the, like parts like I know it. I don't even know it. I just be acting like I know it and be going around.
Go on a scooter because I'm like, oh, she made it sound fun.
I'm telling you, and we could do that, Ribka. We could do that.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we could definitely do that because I had a great time. Okay, what is it, Alki Beach? Let me act like I know.
I already fell down twice after you got me on it. Like,
We're going to talk about this offline because I still am trying to understand. I understand it, but it's okay because we're going to do this together. We're going to figure it out. Oh, everybody come in the comments. Oh, Losa, what's up, girl? She said Ruta tries to be in and out, but she be feeling the love. I'm telling y'all. I really do. Y'all know me. The people who know me. It don't matter where you see me at. I'm really not. Like, I can be an extrovert. I could do the MC, the host, the whatever, but I don't like to be in the middle of a crowd. I'm claustrophobic. It's really weird. Like, because when you're the MC, you at the front. You know what I mean? Everybody, like, you looking at them, they looking at you. You know what I'm saying?
Like the idea of the live, like, freaked me out because it's like, okay, it's just me talking. Or, like, being in front of people, I don't like that. But if I had to just, like, we just need to work as a team and there's a whole bunch of us, I don't care about that. That's easy. But, like, one-on-one spotlight, that's a lot.
Yeah, I be having no problem because I realize it's a space thing for me and I'm claustrophobic. So I'm like, oh, this is great. because I could be with you without being with you. You know what I mean? It's like it's perfect. So y'all just know. But I'm friendly. So if you come and say hi to me, I'm gonna say hi to you. Just don't do that weird thing where you looking at me and you're debating if you want to say hi to me, because that throws me off. I'm like, do I know that? Like, I'd be so confused. So anyways, that's neither here nor there. So Seattle, I'm telling y'all, it's gonna be a good time. We gonna do the work that we need to do. We gonna reset and be in community with one another. We are going to raise money. And all of it though is really like, to me at the end of the day with these events, right? Because we always try to balance out the like, but you're spending so much money to get there, blah blah blah, right? I understand that y'all are gonna go on vacation regardless. You might as well go on a vacation where you're gonna be with your people and you're gonna be fighting for a cause. That's how I see it, because I was team catch flights, not feelings for a long time. So that's just how I operate. You know what I'm saying? But I'm on the catch flights and feelings now. So I'm gonna catch the flight and I'm gonna get my feelings over there. I'm gonna get my good feelings, my love with my community, with other people who are allies, who are fighting for the same cause. And like, you guys don't understand, that really gives you and re-energizes you for the long fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really does. And so I'm like, I've been by my ticket. I said, oh, Seattle, bet I'll be right back. Like, no problem. I didn't have to say bye to people. I'm gonna see you in a couple months. I'm right back. I've been to Seattle 3 times already, I think. This gonna be the 4th, and then I'm gonna come back in November for a wedding. So it's cool.
Weddings in Seattle.
Girl,
I wonder if
my little no, my little's getting married, and guess what? It's at the aquarium.
Ooh, fancy.
Fancy. Okay, listen, I ain't never even been to the Seattle Aquarium because I don't be doing that type of stuff when I go there. Yeah. But I'm about to be in there.
I don't think I've ever been, unless I was a kid. I don't.
Listen, y'all gonna get all the snaps. Don't even worry about it. But you see, I bought you all that time so that you can answer this question now. Okay. So with that being said, with all the talents and gifts, and we didn't even talk about what you actually do for work, because in case y'all didn't know, Ribka has an actual job too. Because we forget about that. We're like, whatever, she works too. No, she works, y'all. She has a whole job. So thinking about all of these things and how life has shifted and pivoted and all the work you're doing now, I'm sure it's been on your brain. So tell the people, what is it that you want your legacy to be?
I mean, so I debate on this. I know it's
okay.
Watching your lives, but I mean, if I could be a part of the change to bridge the gap between the disconnects that we have in our community, I'd be satisfied. Whether it's with the youth and the older community, whether it's like the people that were born back home and us out here, just like the different gaps that really hinders for us to be like super great, because we are amazing. Like I'm really proud of us and how we were so quick to mobilize, But if I could be a part of that change, to see better days in that way, I'd be satisfied as a person.
That's beautiful. I'm telling you, you got the patience for it.
Sometimes.
You got more than me, sis. You got more than me, because I kid you not, like, because I do the healing stuff and all of that, and like, I have the technical skills. I can actually teach you how to build a relationship with someone, right? But me actually doing it, nah. But when I see you in action, I'm like, wow. Like, wow. The patience that this woman has, amazing. Look at her tone, the way she's communicating. And then I'm not gonna lie, I meant to tell you this earlier. Your laugh is like the nicest thing, bro. I swear to God. I know, so random. They're gonna be in the comments, but like, Ribka's laugh is just so nice. And you're like, she's just so nice. Like, you just want to love her already. You're like, oh, like, this is such a sweet person. Like, I just can't even imagine someone being mean to you, because I'm just like, what? You're mean to Ribka? Like, I can take it because my tone be like low-key harsh, but Ribka, like, that girl's as sweet as she comes. Like, I don't know. They're agreeing with me. They're agreeing with me too.
Her laugh.
Like,
she knows my laugh.
Yes, everyone's like, yes, she has the sweetest laugh. I be trying to I'm like, bro, because I was having like low-key stressing out, because like, again, I have hella people in town and I'm like managing stuff.
I thought you were gonna reschedule, because I'm like, you really gonna do this week?
Yeah. No. Well, not. You know how long it took me to get you on? You thought I was gonna reschedule you? Yeah, right. So you can try to change your mind? No. So not gonna happen. But it really is like, you're such a warm and welcoming person.
I find it hard to believe like people would want to give you a hard time, because I don't think it's about you. I always think it's about themselves. But I think once they actually talk to you, I feel like you're someone so easy to talk to, and like you're actually wanting to help, and you're very genuine in that. And like, yeah, you're human. There's people who are annoying. There's people who annoy the shit out of me too, right? But at the end of the day, like, if it's between me and you, I'm choosing you. I'm choosing you every time. I'm like, nah, Ribka got to do this one because I don't have it. And I'm just like always impressed by that, because I know how hard it is to like, because I'm in those situations. I know how hard it is, and you really do have that talent, sis. You really do, because nobody's disagreeing with me. So I just wanted to point that out in case you weren't sure. Nobody is disagreeing. Cece said, such a kind-hearted soul, but she can fight too, so don't try it. That part. Listen, don't. What did they say? They've been talking about it all day. Don't.
It's on Clubhouse where a couple people had to read me back in. That was in the beginning, you know. Okay. I'm back.
Oh, Tedha said she choosing Ribka too, and we're communicators. Okay, we're those healed people. We be doing the therapy and the this and that. We're telling you, you got it, sis. Like, you got it. I really promise you. I love it. Everyone's in these comments. Bro, let me tell you something about Seattle. Seattle's gonna show up, because everybody in these comments is definitely Seattle.
Love.
It's love. I love the way everybody pulls up. That's why I try to tell people, Seattle, it's about to be a movie. I'm about to have fun, and I'm about to get this work done. I'm probably gonna throw in a couple more projects, you know, just because I know my Seattle homies gonna hold me down. So I'm like, oh, you know what, y'all want to do this too? Let me just throw that on the plate. But
Project
huh?
Got a project for Seattle too?
Always. What you mean? Always. Benjamin's like, hold on, let me exit the chat before she gives me more work. I'm crying. No. Listen, I know I be feeling it. Like, it is too much. I do too much, but I like, somebody got to do it. Okay. And until other people start doing it, I'm gonna just keep going.
See your project from this weekend?
Oh yeah. You know,
you're just like waiting, like, because I already know it's like I just want to see it.
Girl, I want to see it. That's what I've been telling all my friends. I want to see it too. So with that said, y'all, I hope you guys were blessed by this. Ribka, thank you so much. I know this was a big ask, so I'm really, really, really honored and blessed that you said yes. It's always like, for me, it warms my heart when it's like the people who I know don't do this. You know what I mean? Like, would not do this, and like, you guys come here and you let me give you flowers in public when you're not even a public person. Like, it just means so much, because it just shows me how much you respect me and my work and the platform. And I'm like, bro, that's just the biggest blessing. And that's why I just had to make sure. I was like, Ribka not gonna be one of these unsung heroes for long, bro. She coming on here, she's taking her flowers whether she wants them or not. The people need to know that there are such amazing, brilliant people who really just do the work, because it needs to be done, you know. And I just think that's the bigger inspiration. Really, it's the bigger inspiration, because you can touch the people who are quieter, you know what I mean? The people who might not feel like they're making a big impact. Bro, I'm telling you, like, there's so many reasons why some of these events could have like failed, but there's people like you and like other people that we've mentioned that really put in the work to make sure that like we're successful, because when we're successful, Tigray is successful. And I need to make sure that, you know, every Wednesday, you know, regardless of what my life is doing, like, I try my hardest to make sure I find y'all and I bring you up, not so that people can like all of a sudden make you a celebrity, but so that they can understand there's real human beings behind this, and they're amazing and they're dope, and you don't need to be a celebrity to make a big impact. So I just love you.
Your Sunday segment, you always got to plug that in.
Oh yeah, of course. Sunday is gonna be a great time. We got Black Men Speak Sundays. We're gonna have, I don't know if I'll be telling the guests like that, but just know I'm gonna have, it's gonna be an early one too. So y'all might not wake up early with me. That's fine. You can watch it in the afternoon. I'm gonna have somebody from down under. Okay. We're gonna have the homie from down under come on. he's the same like you. He really don't like doing this stuff, but it's gonna be a good time. The lineup for August in terms of the men, the women, everybody that's coming on is so dope. And it's like, I feel like when y'all come on, you make them more comfortable because they're like, all right, Ribka, I'm gonna do it too. I'm like, yeah, it's not that bad.
People are first timers, so I'm like, okay, this is a safe space. Like, you don't attract hate to your page. I'm like, okay, I guess that's fine.
Nah. The haters don't thrive around here.
Yeah.
No, you know what I'd be telling them too, Ribka? It's gonna be the last thing. I be telling people, if you come here to hate, you're gonna end up learning something, and you gonna like, you know what I'm saying? Then what? What you gonna do? So I'm like, you can hate if you want to, but you're gonna be learning. You're gonna be healing. I mean, you could try, but they gonna get you in the comments without me. They don't accept negativity in the comments too.
Yeah.
They will catch you, and I will report block instantly. Okay. I'm a boundary setter. Oh, you don't know how to behave? Bye, Felicia. The hell, this is not the troll center. So with that said, y'all make sure if you're not, follow Tagado events. It's Seattle Tigray. What is it?
Seattle Tigray Network. Yeah.
Perfect. Seattle Tigray Network. If you haven't gotten your tickets, get them. I'm gonna be there.
Okay.
I'm telling you, get there Thursday. Don't play yourself. Don't play yourself. Get there Thursday because you're going to be sick if you trying to run around on a Friday. You're going to be stuck in traffic for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all, that wraps up Black Women Wednesday. You did great, Ribka.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good Wednesday.